what's going on there, guys? Unfortunately, they finally got me. They finally voted to desert me, and I'll be honest, it does sting a little bit because I was really hoping to win this game, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. This video, I just want to reflect on everything leading up to my desertion, so I guess I'll start with the challenge, and the challenge was called Fire Breathing Trivia, and the fire aspect of it was the hot sauce, because if you missed a question, you had to lick up a little bit of hot sauce, and it was absolutely terrible from a player perspective because A, it's disgusting, B, you're throwing up in your mouth a little bit, and C, you're gagging the entire time. At least I was, but it was definitely the roughest portion of the challenge in my opinion. I thought it was really cool that Adam hosted our challenge, and as soon as I saw him, I'm like, I'm gonna win this exemption challenge right in front of my captain, and I'm gonna show him that it was not a mistake for him to pick me on his team. And unfortunately, I choke in the challenge, I don't win, and the biggest thing is my ego was hurt. That was probably the biggest thing for me, was it hurt my ego because, like I said, I hold myself to really high standards, and I know for a fact that that's a challenge I could have won, but I didn't win. And then I get even more upset whenever I find out there's a reward attached to it, which is a 5-minute strategizing session with Adam. And I'm thinking in my head, it would be so cool to have a winner from Survivor to strategize with, but I unfortunately did not win, and Hager won that, which I'm happy for Hager. If I didn't win, I'm glad Hager won that. But now let's talk about the camp time now. And during camp time, I talked to Holly first, and as soon as I talked to Holly, I realized she is lying to me because I figured out the vote last night, and I kind of trapped her there because I said, oh, so who did you vote for? And she's like, oh, I voted JJ. And I'm thinking in my head, I know you didn't vote JJ. You voted Sophia, and so did Meredith. Because like I said, I figured out the vote last night. So Holly's lying to me, and now I for sure want her out. I wish I would have just taken her out last time with Sophia and Kayla, but I tried getting Meredith out instead, and that was definitely a mistake for my game. So I'm not going to mess up and let history repeat itself. I'm going for Holly now. So I hop in the room with Hager, and Hager says, that's exactly what Hager says actually, is, hey, let's go after Holly. And I'm thinking in my head, like, that's great. We're finally on the same page for once. So he's pitching Holly's name, and then I talked to, I can't remember who, I think I talked to Kayla next, and I'm being told that Schneidman's the vote. So it's between Schneidman and Holly is what I'm being told. And then the next thing I know, I'm talking to Matthew. I'm like, hey, what's up, my man? What did you hear? And he's like, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I heard your name because people think you're a threat to win this game. But they're also scared that you're going to play a compass too. And I'm thinking in my head, like, great, now my name's going around. So is it going to be me, Holly, or Schneidman tonight? So that's really the biggest summary of camp time, at least for me it was. During camp time, my main strategy after I found out that I was a target was to get Schneidman to use his compass on me so I could save my compass. But unfortunately, that did not work. But going into Crossroads, the whispering sessions start, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm sick and I'm tired of the whispering. I've kept my mouth shut long enough. I'm ready to open it in front of all these people during Crossroads, and that's exactly what I did. I called out Holly for some bull crap, and I really think, I don't know if that's the reason why everybody voted for Holly, but everyone did vote for Holly instead of me and Schneidman. And the worst part of it, though, was that I did play my compass, but from my perspective, playing the compass, I was on the bottom, and I didn't know if everyone was lying to me and if I was the vote out. So I played my compass, and I completely wasted it because it was a unanimous vote. And to be honest with you, that's probably karma because I made fun of Hager for wasting his compass, and I wasted my compass worse than Hager did. But anyways, though, I waste my compass, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, this freaking sucks, but at least I can hopefully use my social game to try to fix it tomorrow. The joke was on me because Jonathan announces, hey guys, guess what? Your next individual exemption challenge is right now. Pay attention to the video. And I'm thinking in my head like, oh no. I don't even get a chance to talk to anybody. I have to win this freaking challenge. So the challenge is going, and I already know for a fact that if I don't win, I'm the next one to go, 99.9%. And sure enough, I don't win. I come so close. During the challenge, you have to flip the cup over, and I land the first two, I think, the fastest, and then the third cup just really tricked me up, and I was stuck on it, and then Kayla passes me up. She gets her fourth one. I get my third one. I get my fourth one, and then we're both fighting for that fifth one. I think Matthew's in the mix somewhere, but I don't know exactly where, and then she gets it before me, and it sucks because I threw my cup, and I knew, like I said, I was most likely out of the game. But yes, so that's kind of how the challenge went, and we start strategizing. I hit the whisper room, and I tell everybody, I tell Hager and Matthew that Schneidman's bluffing. He's not going to play his compass. And sure enough, I was right. Nobody listened to me, and no one voted for Schneidman. So he basically has a ticket to Final Four now because no one believed me. Like, I knew he was going to bluff it. And the good news is, which this isn't really good news, but I got somebody to vote with me to take Schneidman out, and it makes me wonder if the vote was actually 3-3, if they would have flipped it on Schneidman, because I really think they would have. And from my perspective, I don't know who did it, but for Hager's game, it probably would have been best for him to vote Schneidman out, because I would have been the biggest threat, and I know Meredith has to steal a vote, and she'll probably vote me out instead of him. So I'm hoping that, I don't really care, honestly, who voted with me, but I would hope that it would be him, just from a logical standpoint. But that's kind of how the night went. I got screwed because of a twist. I played a compass when I didn't need to, and my gut, the entire time during that crossroads, my gut's like, don't play it, don't play it. And that's what saved me my first time, was my gut, because I wasn't going to play my heirloom advantage, but my gut's like, you might as well play it. You already stirred up all this commotion and chaos and drama. You might as well play it. So I play it and I'm safe. And this time, I didn't listen to my gut. I listened to my head, because the logical side of me is like, I don't want to be voted out with a compass in my pocket. So I just wish I would have stuck with my gut, because I would still be in the game. That's all I have for you guys. I'm done talking, so I'll see you guys. Hey, what's going on, the expedition? I just wanted to reflect on my overall journey throughout the game. I had so much fun playing. I definitely had my regrets, the things I'm proud of, and the things that still hurt, even right now, that do sting a little bit, I'll be honest. But one thing I don't regret that I'll be honest about is my compass play last night. Yes, it was my ultimate downfall in my opinion, but from my perspective, it just made logical sense to play it, considering I was on the bottom this entire game. I don't know if these people are lying to me, and not to mention, they also left me out of the vote completely, so I don't regret playing that. My strategy coming into this game was to just make it one more day anyways, and I thought playing that compass would at least buy me one more day, and then I could use my social game to try to save myself, but unfortunately it didn't happen, and a twist got me. But I guess that's just part of the game, and at least I went out on a twist in my opinion. But one thing I definitely regret, I'll be honest about, is my mouth. I think my mouth got me in trouble yet again, and I freaking knew it would. Sometimes I just need to think about things before I say them, because I already knew coming in my mouth was going to get me in some trouble. And it did. I think the biggest piece of evidence for that is just the Schneidman thing. I see the clue, and I say it right in front of him. He gets the advantage instead of me, and it's definitely a game changer there. One thing that still hurts today, I'll be honest about, is that I had 3 different advantages, and I only finished in 6th place, and I didn't win the game with 3 advantages. So that definitely stings, but overall, I'm very happy with I'm not very happy, but I'm decently happy with my performance. I got 6th place considering the situation I was in. I was always fighting and clawing to make it one more day. I was playing from the bottom this entire game, whether it was in the party portion of the game or even in Rendezvous. I was always at the bottom. And like I said, I don't have any regrets in this game really, other than just my big mouth getting me in trouble again. But if you're watching this, I definitely encourage anyone to apply for Expedition Online, because this is the closest thing you're going to get to real Survivor on the internet. So, and you also meet a lot of really unique people too. I played in a pre-evolution game, like I said, of Expedition Online called Survivor Online. I still talk to some of those people today, and I really hope to stay in touch with the people I just played with. So I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully, I get to play another season. I don't know about that, but if I do, look out, because I'm coming for the W. Let's go, guys. I'll see ya. Thanks for the support.
Yeah! Yes! 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 What a fucking night! We're in this thing! We're in this thing, baby! Let's fucking go! Woo! Okay. So, coming into tonight, it was a trivia challenge. And your boy has his strengths and he has his weaknesses. Trivia is one of his strengths. So I felt I could be pretty good at this. So we're cooking. I'm in the lead. Hager ties me. Oh, fuck. Then we go to extra innings. We go to a tiebreaker. And he just had one additional fact over me. And I was like, God damn it. Okay, I get another bite at this. Because I know I'm going to the summit where I meet with Wendell and Matthew. I say to Matthew, hey man, what do you want to do? Let's work together. He says Dixon. I say, okay, fine, whatever. At the summit, we were given the opportunity to choose between two different chests. And I was given the first. Let me start over. So when we got to the summit, we were given the opportunity to pick between two different chests, two different urns. And because I was the first one to figure out the clue last night, I got to go first. So I picked my urn. Matthew was given the opportunity to keep his urn or trade with me. And I think he wanted to build a little bit of a connection with me, so he was like, how do you feel? And I said, I'd like to keep mine. Little did he know, I already had a message telling me that I had the compass. So I was like, no, please don't take it. But I told him I didn't have a message. I was like, I feel good about this. Please, but do what you're going to do. Make it seem like I'm not that attached. And I think he didn't want to piss me off. So he kept his. So I got to keep the compass. Coming out of that, I felt great because I'm like, I think Matthew actually might want to work with me. I think he's feeling pretty vulnerable right now, and he wants to keep a good connection. The fact that he did what I asked him to do, even though he didn't know I already knew I had a compass, that was a sign of good faith that, there might be something here. So then, in the strategy, things are going kablooey. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm hearing Dixon, I'm hearing Holly, I'm hearing Dixon, I'm hearing Holly. We get to the crossroads, back to the whisper rooms. And it occurs to me, and I tried to explain this to Caleb, I didn't do that good of a job, that if Matthew and Meredith did not want Holly to go, then it would be crazy for them to give Holly as a fake vote because they don't know what type of advantages are out there. And if they felt really strongly about a final three with Holly, they wouldn't even want her name to come up. So that convinced me that we're not getting played here. They also want to vote for Holly. So we get to that final 7 vote. I'm looking at my compass. Do I play you? Do I play you? Do I play you? Nah, I felt pretty good. I felt like it really wasn't me. And Matthew gave me one last reassurance, and I felt pretty good. So, we get through that vote. Unanimous for Holly. Bye, Holly. Then we're told we have to do another challenge. And another vote. And the challenge, I wasn't as terrible at this challenge as I could have been. I wasn't as spectacularly terrible. I just couldn't get the cup in the fucking cup. But, I wasn't making a mess of myself and my teammates. So we head to 6. It seems pretty clear people are tired of Dixon shit, right? I feel I have to push us a little farther and just put the metaphorical compass around my neck. I am safe tonight. Do not vote for me. It seemed pretty clear from the people I talked to that they wanted to do Dixon. I also was tracking the people who were telling me Dixon to see if they would have been able to put together a vote for me. I didn't really think so. And then when Dixon threw out Hager as a potential vote, I was like, nah. They don't have it. So I sat on my compass again. And I got through that fucking vote too. Dixon went home. So now I'm in the final 5. Who would have thought? Look at us! Final 5! Yes! And I still have the compass. So I'm guaranteed Final Four. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I can't believe it. I can't believe I've made it this far. I thought I was a goner when we went to the rendezvous, but I've kept going. I've kept paddling. Duck on the water, with the feet going. Gotta sleep. Gotta relax. I know I am not getting eliminated tomorrow, so I can relax and figure out what my options are. Who knows what I'm gonna do? I can do anything. The world is my oyster. We'll think it through, figure it out, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so this is my confessional for Expedition Online Season 4, and I made top 5. I never could have even imagined making it this far. Again, I feel like I'm one of the more inexperienced people on this cast, so I'm just amazed that I made it this far, and I'm really proud of myself for everything that I've done and accomplished to get here so far. I truly thought that last night my time was up. I tried to stage a coup with Sophia, and it didn't work out, basically because of me, because I voted out Sophia thinking that Hagar would, and I just thought for sure that I would be outed as the person playing both sides, and miraculously, I don't think I was outed last night. Hagar, Schneidman, and Dixon all could have buried me. But I luckily put myself into a position where they all felt like they needed me enough that they couldn't bury me. So, moving forward, the top 5 is going to be extremely tricky, and I think that I'm definitely in trouble. Schneidman has an idol, and then somebody's going to be immune. In the light of day, the day after, I do kind of realize that keeping Schneidman was probably a mistake. Dixon is just pure chaos, and he came dangerously close twice now in 2 separate crossroads. The first one being the double where 2 people got voted out, and the second one being where Holly got voted out. He came so close twice to blowing up my game, and I was one of the few Team Adam people who was willing to work with him, but he just burned me at every single corner, and I just couldn't take the threat of him blowing up my game any longer. I was just so sick of it, even though Schneidman would have probably been the better answer. So now we're looking at a final 5 with 2 people immune. So I think I have to play kind of like the anyone but me game for this final 5. I don't really have a true target. I think with Schneidman, I have to feel out if he'd be willing to do Hagar very gently, or I just tell him Meredith, because Meredith was who we wanted to do during that double. For Hagar, I also have to pitch Meredith, but I do have to kind of plant the seeds like, hey, is Schneidman going to be with us, or is he going to flip over to the other 2? I'm going to tell Hagar that he and I probably are bigger threats, so I'm going to get Hagar paranoid a little bit. With Meredith and Matthew, I think that is my true alliance. So obviously I'm going to pitch Hagar, but the problem with that is if Schneidman catches wind of this, it would be in his best interest to play the idol for Hagar, because he knows we're not going to risk voting for him because he has a public idol. So there's risks with every way to go, and it's just going to have to be a gut decision. It's going to have to be reading people in the moment. It's going to be trying to navigate the heat off of me as best as I can, trying to create enough paranoia among everyone so that it doesn't land back on me. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but of course I'm going to give it a go, and we're going to see how it ends up tonight. So that's it. Bye.
What is going on, guys? Matthew back again. We made it to Final 5, which is pretty solid if you ask me. I did not think I was going to get this far. It's pretty dope, but let's break down this whirlwind of a day, because the core 4 is no longer the core 4. We had to get rid of Holly, which I won't jump too far ahead. We'll start with the challenges and then we'll work our way there. So the first challenge today was a trivia challenge where if you got the answer wrong, you had to take 5 drips of hot sauce, which was actually the first time I've ever tried hot sauce. So that was interesting. It was pretty good, but on an empty stomach, it did not make my tummy feel well because I did not perform up to par in that challenge. So that was kind of sad. And then Hager ended up winning the challenge, which was better than Schneidman or Dixon getting it, because those were the two I think we were really gunning for tonight. So we got to the vote, and actually let me talk about the summit real quick. So Schneidman and I both found a secret thing, and we got to go to the summit. And at the summit there were 2 urns. One had an advantage and one had a disadvantage. And Schneidman chose first. He picked an urn, and then I picked an urn, and then afterwards Schneidman got a message. Then we were asked if we wanted to swap, and I kind of assumed he had the advantage anyways, and like I wasn't gonna press for him to swap it to me because like I didn't really want to work with Schneidman. I figured we'd get rid of him hopefully, and if like he got a compass, there's no way on earth he would ever give it to me because he knew where he stood. So I just kind of let him take that and took the information, seeing if he would tell me what disadvantage I had or what advantage he had. He would not tell me. And so we left, and that kind of made everyone a little paranoid because we thought Schneidman might have a compass. So we didn't go for Schneidman. Instead, we wanted to gun for Dixon. And then when we got down to the vote, we were kind of worried that Dixon might have had a compass as well. And then people were telling me Holly, and then Dixon and a few other people said that Holly threw up my name, which I don't think is true. But everyone switched to Holly, and I figured I better go along with that. So we all voted Holly out, which was kind of a bummer because she was one of our core 4. And then immediately after that vote, we have another challenge, which I was this close to beating Kayla at, where we had to flip some cups. Kayla ended up winning, which is good because she's still in my alliance, and went down to the next vote. Because Dixon did play his compass at the last vote earlier, we were actually able to vote out Dixon. And so we finally got rid of Dixon, and now we're the final 5. And sorry if that explanation was a little wonky. There's a lot going on tonight. It was a action-packed night, but I'm still here, final 5. And I think Meredith and Kayla is the 3. We're gonna try and make it to the end, although I don't know if I beat Kayla or even Meredith, but especially Kayla because she's been a beast in challenges. So I would like to go to the end just because that was our original alliance with them. But for my best chance of winning, we might have to cut Kayla a little short, even though Kayla's dope and I don't necessarily want to do that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode.
Okay, day 11, Expedition Online. I'm still here. I'm still Expeditioner. Slightly less happy, getting more concerned about my position in the game, but I'm still here, so I'm happy about that. This is probably one of the harder days of the game so far. But it has been fun, and it continues to be fun, even though it's stressful as all fuck. It is so stressful. So we had our challenge today. Hager became immune. And so since yesterday, I filmed my confessional. I was a little bit tipsy. So I listened to it again this morning just to see what I had said and to think about it. And as I thought about it, I became more convinced that going with Hager might be the right path, which makes me nervous because I think a lot of people assume me and Holly were a tight number 2, but I didn't really have a number 2. That's the problem. I was kind of like going back and forth, which probably isn't great for my game, but that's how it ended up happening. But so after talking to Hager, I kind of like the idea of voting Holly out. She's a wonderful person, as I previously described. Everything I said was very accurate. But thinking more about the things I found out about the other org and the superlative she was voted as, she got to the end and then bowed out for loyalty reasons, but her superlatives for the season were best challenger and biggest villain. And those are 2 superlatives I don't think I want to try to have to deal with this late in the game. That's a lot of uncertainty to bring into the pointy end of the game, as the Australians say. So that made me a little nervous. Also, I think Holly's a big threat. Being a big challenge beast and a big threat this far into the game, it's nerve-wracking. So when Hager suggested Holly's name again, I kind of agreed to it. And Matthew, I was kind of wish-washy in my answer, but I would say I'd talk to Kayla and see how it fell, but I was kind of into it. Matthew wasn't giving any indication one way or another. I later talked to Kayla, and she was very surprised, very surprised. She kind of confirmed to me what I had suspected, that her and Matthew were the type 2, and she just assumed that me and Holly were the other type 2. But I mean, it wasn't really that way in my head. I did want to work with all 4 of them, but I knew that Holly, when it gets down to it, if it was going to be me and her in the final, I would be losing to Holly probably. So that's not a chance I'd like to take if I can get there. But like I said in my Crossroads voting booth thing, I'm going to donate $200 to Hush No More, Holly's charity, and I'm going to hopefully get my company to match it, so hopefully it'll be $400 altogether. So I gotta figure out how that works. But Holly, it was really great playing with you, and you're a wonderful person, and I'm really sorry to have voted you out. I know the donation doesn't really make up for voting you out of the game, but hopefully it softens the blow a little bit. I had to do what I had to do, and I gotta beat David Jackson, so I gotta keep going. Okay, so voted out Holly, and then we find out at the tribal, or at the Crossroads, that there's going to be another immunity challenge. Another immunity challenge, Kayla wins this one. So Kayla's now immune, and myself, Matthew, Schneidman, Hager, and Dixon are still available. Dixon played his compass at the previous tribal, even though he only got 1 vote from Holly, which was wonderful. We knew he was free and clear of advantages, so that was great. But I also really wanted to try to get Schneidman to flush whatever he was saying he was talking about having had. I don't think he had a compass. I think he was just bluffing and trying to get the votes off of him, since it was a quick turnaround and it was going to be chaotic, and there was another easy vote on the table. He just wanted to make it that easy vote instead of him. So definitely don't think he had a compass, but I didn't want to make him feel safe and secure. So I put my vote on Schneidman. If somebody else, the third person, would have voted for Schneidman, I would have been just as happy. Either way, Dixon's out, so that's good. The sneaky snake is out of the game. So the second half of my confessional last night was a little bit rambling. So I needed to get my thoughts in order and kind of figure out my best move going forward, which I think I have at this point. I'm still a little nervous, but I have a plan in place, I think. So the problem with this game, the problem with my game, is that in order to get to the end and preserve your safety in the game to get there, you can't really be flashy. You can't be super sneaky, because if you tell anyone anything, odds are somebody is going to find out, especially with the whisper rooms, especially with everything. How information is just used very much as barter in this game, and every piece of information is going to be sold to somebody. So knowing that, it's hard to play a flashy game. But also, you can get to the end, but you can't win if you don't play a flashy game, if you don't have some sort of moves. So that's a paradox I'm in right now, is I've made it to the end. I've preserved my safety throughout the game, and I'm here at the end, but I feel like I'm in a uniquely precarious position where I don't feel like I'm a GOAT. I don't feel like I'm a GOAT, but I don't really see a path for me to win at this point as things stand currently. So, solution there is we have to do some remediation and fix that. Currently, at this point in the game, there are 5 people left. We have Schneidman from Team Winville, and then 4 Team Adam folks, me, Matthew, Hager, and Kayla. So Schneidman has basically played another whole half or another whole third of the game that we haven't had to endure, because his party went to tribal so many more times than we have, which that gives him a lot more of a story to tell. He also maybe has an advantage. I do not think it's a compass. Again, I think Matthew going to the summit and getting the disadvantage of having to read his vote aloud is not proportionate to the related advantage being a compass. So I don't think that that's the truth. Maybe he doesn't even have an advantage, and maybe it's just the thought that he could is the advantage. But yeah, I don't think that Schneidman has a compass. So, but those are the things about Schneidman. The problem with Schneidman's case is that 4 to 5 of the jury members are going to be Team Adam. And when you're voting for someone to win, you often want to see your game reflected in their game. You want to be able to imagine that if you got to the end in their space, you could have won as well. And if those 4 to 5 people vote for Schneidman, that's a valid vote. That's a valid vote. It's a vote I might make in their situation. But they would also have to come to terms with the thought that because of the situation, the circumstances they were put into, having been on Team Adam and having won out, they stood a much less likely chance to win at the end of the game too. And if they can overlook that kind of cognitive dissonance of having to accept that they can't be a winner with the game that they played, and if they're willing to vote for Schneidman, which I think is a possibility. So I am scared to go to the end with Schneidman. Of the Team Adam people, we have Kayla, who's won 2 immunities. She has the background with the same Team Adam people and those shared relationships and experiences. And I could see her win going forward. So I could see her winning out, maybe even. She's very good at challenges. She's always in the top few and always very close to winning. Hager has 1 immunity win, individual immunity win, and individual exemption win, and then he did win some sort of challenge at the beginning when we were still in party lines. He is a more polarizing character, I feel like, than Kayla. I feel like there might be people who don't like him, or he pissed him off with like his gifts of Gotham when he played his idol. So that's something. And also his moves that I think he would call out at Final Ascent would be orchestrating the Holly vote and playing his immunity idol and nullifying 5 votes. And those are good moves, but at the same time, if he hadn't talked to me the night before offering me the Holly vote on day 11, and I hadn't been at least somewhat open to working with him, he wouldn't have brought it up the next day maybe. And if I hadn't been on board as much as I was, I don't know that Kayla would have been on board. I don't know that Matthew would have been on board. So without me, I don't know that the Holly vote would have moved forward as quickly and efficiently as it had. So that vote also kind of relied on me. With the immunity idol the compass play, he orchestrated it, but he orchestrated it. Like, he told people what was going to happen step by step. I had to rely on other people to get the votes on him, had to rely on other people to do all the legwork because he was at a concert, which totally fine, but I just feel like that kind of dilutes that play as well, since it's not reading a situation and accurately playing your compass. It's orchestrating this fake situation that's a really easy out for everybody else to join on to, and just going with that. So I think that move is at least somewhat diluted. And then there's Matthew, who I feel like me and Matthew are kind of on similar footing in that we haven't won any challenges. I won the scavenger hunt, but that didn't really count for anything. We played what some people might consider to be a boring game. I've at least flipped on Holly, where he didn't have that, and I won the steal a vote. He had to play his disadvantage, but again, it was kind of a whack disadvantage, so it didn't really cause that much drama to him. So, given all of the above, I think my best path in moving forward is to flip yet again. And hopefully tonight the vote is an easy Schneidman vote. And I might say that my steal a vote expired at 6 because I think that's believable. And it was such a quick turnaround between 7 and 6 that I didn't have to use it. I didn't want to play it stupidly, blah, blah, blah. It expired, it's no good. But so try to get the vote on Schneidman, and at the last minute, try to play my steal a vote and get Kayla out. Because I feel like of the two people to win, Kayla and Schneidman have the best chances. It's a little dangerous keeping Schneidman in the game for another round, but I gotta play dangerous and make a big move if I want to have a resume to have the jury respect my game at the end. I also think I stand a better chance of beating Schneidman in the challenges than Kayla, and we'll also still have Hager in to win some challenges too if we need to, because he could probably win some immunities. I think that's my best move forward. And it sucks to flip on Kayla, but I know she would flip on me in a second, and so hopefully she'll respect that. The wrinkles that could be thrown into the game are if Kayla has an immunity idol. I don't think she does, or if Kayla has a compass. I don't think she does because she hasn't really made it seem like she does, but also she's never really been in a vulnerable position where she would have had to play her a compass. So maybe she's just had it tucked away since the beginning, and it's one I'm not aware of. Another wrinkle could be if either word gets out that I'm going to do this, or if people get scared at the last second and switch the votes to me, and it's unanimous against me, and me stealing a vote from somebody else doesn't work. And I mean, that would suck, but I guess I'd rather go out trying to make a big move than go out just as a loser at Final Ascent, not really having made any massive moves. There's an advantage out there potentially if it's not a compass that Schneidman has. I don't know what that could be or how that could affect the game, so that could be a wrinkle. If Schneidman doesn't have his compass, or does have a compass and doesn't feel vulnerable, he might not want to work with me. But also if the votes aren't on Schneidman, I'd have to align with whoever the votes are going to land on to try to do this steal a vote thing. I think at this position, because of everything that I've explained, people should want to take me to the end. And I think if I can take advantage of that and then use this steal a vote, that might be a bad decision on their part. It's a little dangerous again letting Schneidman get through for another round, because I think he's a very good chance of winning if he gets to the end, but I'd rather take the chance on competing against Schneidman than competing against Kayla. And then Matthew will have no one to hold on to other than me, so that'll get Matthew on my side. Because right now, in my perspective, my best odds of winning right now, before any moves, would be in a final 2 against Matthew. I think I could probably out-talk him, or in a final 3 with Hager. Because we have similar stories, and I feel like I could downplay some of Hager's moves and reframe some of them as at least requiring my help and other people's help a lot to get them along. But tricky situation. Figuring it out. I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I just have to figure out the best way to implement this plan and kind of get eyes on the ground of who's leaning towards who for the votes, and then move forward. My only concern is that Kayla, I feel like, is tight with everybody. Kayla and Matthew are tight too. Kayla and Hager, I feel like Hager maybe views her as his tightest ally. And then Kayla and Schneidman keeps bringing Kayla into whisper rooms. So everyone's kind of aligned with Kayla's. It's a little dangerous, but I'm gonna gotta do it. Preserve my safety up until this point. Now it's time to cause a little chaos. So we'll see how it goes.
God, I just want to come to you tonight and acknowledge what a good God you are. Lord, you have lit the path and bestowed upon us a cage, which we use to trap Dixon. Lord, now we have cast him out of our path, and we are on the righteous, great path to the finale. I am on cloud fucking 9. I feel like we just exorcised a demon out of our household. Like, we got rid of the ever elusive Dixon. You know, JFK once said, the sun might not always shine in West Virginia, but the people always do. And I'd be damned if my game was not shining tonight. You know, huge night. What a challenge, you know. Shout out to Jess and whoever come up with these questions, because it was a tough one. You know, when myself and I'm sure everybody else found out what we were doing, we all were cramming the same things. You know, we were cramming Pompeii, Vesuvius, anything Italian, Wendell, Adam, anything we could. And, you know, I used wrinkles in this damn brain that I haven't dusted off since college, you know, and thank God some of the stuff that I just had studied and did not know 20 to 30 minutes prior to this competition were shit that I needed to know to win this damn thing. And coming down to me and Schneidman, that's some scary shit. Like, I'm intimidated by Schneidman. He's got an infectious personality, and not only that, is like he's sneaky smart too. Like, you can tell, like he don't want to lead on like he knows a lot about Survivor. I'm a super fan, but I can't tell you like their sign and their birthstone color, and I feel like Schneidman can. You know, not only was it a great win tonight, I got the extra advantage. I got some one-on-one time with Adam, which is freaking priceless. You know, anybody would have loved to have that. Got some valuable information, bounced some ideas off of him. But then when we get back, Matthew grabs me, and I jump in a room with him and Meredith, you know. And then my wheels get turning, you know. I'm tired of sitting dormant. Like, I wanted to come in tonight like motherfucking Tony Soprano and call the hits and be the boss, you know. You call me a coward because I'm doing this with the cloak of invincibility around me, because I know I'm not going home, but I'm going to shoot my shots when I know nobody else is shooting back, you know. Sometimes you got to put the silencer on the gun and take your shot when you know it's safe. That being said, I get in a room with Holly's two arguably biggest allies, you know. Last week, it feels like a damn week, but yesterday we acknowledged that Kayla and myself kind of come to consensus that that's the big three: Holly, Meredith, and Matthew. And we got to do something. And never did I think that one day later I'd be in the position to where I'm pitching to lead a coup to take off Dare Be It, their leader, in Holly. But I think they knew. They knew that Holly couldn't stay in this game. But nobody can claim that Holly vote. That's all me. I did the legwork to that. I took the risk of putting my neck on the line with her biggest allies to lead the coup to get her out. So I'm in a room with Matthew and Meredith, and at first they are not picking up what I'm laying down. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. They're kind of just staring at me, and you know, you'll get the occasional nod. But then once you see the side, like once you see that, you're starting to make their wheels turn. You know, they might sit here and say all day long like it was their idea or whatever. Hell no. There is no way you can convince me or anybody else that they came in tonight going to eliminate one of their three, their biggest ally. I just don't believe it. Granted, I don't think they would take Holly to the end, but this was a wheel spun into motion by yours truly. And, you know, in the night there, and we are all harmonizing and singing Kumbaya together. But no, the night was not over. But the beautiful nugget of the night being not over is this is the time to get Dixon out. I was not worried about the competition. I was not worried about the challenge. I think that we all knew that Dixon's time had ran up. Like I said, I feel like he was a ghost in our haunted house. Like he was somebody that was lingering for so long that damn, I kind of just got scared because I was starting to think I was going to work with Dixon, and finally we got him out. Nothing but compliments to the guy. But you know, God, you know, this is the end game, and I just want to show up like Thanos and snap my finger and kill half of this population left in this game. I'm starting to get worried that I might have made too many ripples in the wave in the pool tonight, but you never know. At this point, all risks are worth it. All risks will get rewards. You got to risk it for the biscuit, and I want a big ass bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from Tudor's Biscuit World. Shout out West Virginia. But that's what I want. That biscuit of winning Expedition Online, and I'm grinding my axe. I'm sharpening my sword. I'm ready to go to war because I'm not stupid. I know that my clock is ticking. I know that we are in the 11th hour of the doomsday clock, and if I don't produce, this could be it for me. But I'd be damned if I'm not having a good time. I don't want this shit to end. But a huge night for my game. I think that this night will ripple in Expedition Online season, and this will determine what happens the rest of the way, because either Holly or Dixon very well could have won. So let's see. I hope that my moves were good. I hope that everybody acknowledges the moves that I made. I can't take credit for the Dixon because, like I said, love the dude. He's a cool guy. I'll drink a beer with him any day. But he had to go. And so I'm sure these next few days are going to be the toughest of the competition because, we started this thing wanting to be Team Adam Strong, but now, them lines are getting blurred.